What is your all-time favorite homeschool curriculum? I'm going to be talking favorite homeschool curriculums today in this video, so make sure you keep watching. Hi, I am Rachel from 7 and All, and this video is part of a collaboration that's just plain old chatting about our favorite homeschool curriculums. This collaboration is hosted by Ryan from Mama on Mission, and I'm wondering if we're going to share some of the same homeschool curriculums. I kind of think we're going to have at least one in common from what I know of her. We'll wait and see. I'm excited to see her video. But I'm going to be talking about favorite homeschool curriculums in maybe a different way from some of the other moms in this collab, because I am really just at the beginning of my homeschooling journey in this second generation. So I'm still, I don't necessarily have a favorite homeschool curriculum for math or favorite for grammar. I don't necessarily have that yet, like this one curriculum I know I'm always going to check out first. But I wanted to share with you some of my favorite homeschool curriculums, as in curriculum creators that I love to follow, that I love to see what they're up to, that I think are doing really quality and inventive work, and I'm excited to see what they're adding to the homeschool resource community. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today, my top 5 homeschool curriculum creators to watch, like the ones you want to follow. And definitely share with me in the comments down below. Let's chat homeschool curriculum. I wanted to make this video because it's like, who wouldn't want to talk about their favorite homeschool curriculums? So let's get started. Number 1 on my list is probably not going to be a surprise to most of you who have watched my channel before. And number 1 I'm going to say would be Sunlight curriculum. This is, of course, a literature-based curriculum. When I say Sunlight, I'm mainly talking about the HBLs, or the History, Bible, Literature cores that they have. My family used Sunlight quite a bit when I was growing up. Many Sunlight books were very influential to me in my own education. Many of those books I have read 5 or more times in the years even since graduation. They've got a lot of excellent books that they have chosen. But one thing I especially like about Sunlight was they didn't just create a good thing back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and then just leave it and say, hey, our work's done. Actually, what has really impressed me is that they have been willing to change. Over the decades, they have taken out books, they have put in new and better book options, they have sought to diversify their reading choices within their different years, and Sunlight, I feel like, has always been one of the curriculum that is a little bit more whole world focused rather than just the Western world focused, and that is an area where I have really seen them improve, because I have known about Sunlight resources for many years. I've been able to kind of watch their journey and watch them improve and grow rather than just kind of staying set in a particular way and set on a particular book. They're willing to adapt and grow. I've seen that, and that's something I really appreciate about Sunlight. I just appreciate a nice literature-based curriculum that has everything laid out for you in the schedule, that has all the vocabulary words listed and the questions. Their instructors' guides are fantastic, so they are one to follow and to watch. All right, the second curriculum creator that I want to tell you about as one of my top favorites is Heritage Mom Blog on Instagram. So she is not some huge company. She is one mom with a passion for diversified Charlotte Mason kind of inspired homeschooling that is culturally diverse. It's not solely focused on only old books and only Western sources. And she has an awesome Instagram account, so I definitely encourage you to follow her for homeschool inspiration, for book recommendations. She has a great blog where she's sharing extremely valuable book lists, and she also has a book coming out very soon in May, and she also creates homeschool curriculum packs. She has some hymn study packs as well as what are called heritage packs, which there's one focusing on the continent of Africa and African cultures. There's others focused on African American history, kind of in different streams within African American history. So different maybe time periods, maybe some are more music focused, and different elements. So it's not just like one totally overarching element. Some of these packs are aimed at like 4th grade and up, and other packs are aimed at around 1st through 3rd grade. But you'll notice that my kids aren't actually old enough to really study those topics. That's above my preschooler's grade level. But I have loved following her. I've loved seeing the quality of the stuff that she creates, and I definitely plan to use some of those when my boys are older. Actually, last year, my good friend Wendy from Plan Prep Pray messaged me and asked me, do you have a recommendation for me on an Africa unit study? I want to study Africa with my kids. And I said, yes, you need to use Heritage Mom's Amazing Africa Heritage Pack. You don't even need to look any further. Just use it. I promise you'll love it. And she did. So you can use her example. She has several videos I know featuring that their study of Africa from last year. My next favorite curriculum that you have seen featured several times on my channel is Gentle and Classical. Gentle and Classical Press is the company, and I have completely used the Gentle and Classical preschool level. We have been using for a while Gentle and Classical Nature Volume 1, and we recently started Gentle and Classical Primer. And I have loved this and really enjoyed this because I feel like it tackles some things that are just really not necessarily within my strength. Several of the things it covers are art, like classical artwork and classical music, which are two things that my education has maybe been lacking in. So, as homeschool moms, we enjoy getting to learn about things that maybe we weren't interested in learning about when we were young, and now we have a second chance to just get to learn about fun stuff. This program is usually based on memory statement cards, and the memory statement cards have been a huge hit with my son. Some of the first complete sentences he ever spoke were memory statements from the Gentle and Classical Preschool. He's already been able to start pointing out, hey, there's a dot at the end of the sentence in the sentences that he's learning from these memory statement cards. So I have found this approach to be very successful. This is basically kind of a morning time plan for us. This is what I'm currently planning our stories and songs for the morning based on. And I have other videos featuring this, so you can search for other Gentle and Classical Press content on my channel. The 4th curriculum creator that I would encourage you to follow and watch is Kate Snow and her math curriculum creation. Now, I will say the only product of hers I have used so far is Preschool Math at Home. Again, this is my current life stage, but I was really impressed by the depth of the activities and the concepts that were really targeted within this. It's not about teaching your preschooler to count to 20 or to 50. It's about having them deeply understand numbers in multiple different ways and from multiple different directions. I've heard very good things about her kindergarten Math with Confidence and 1st grade Math with Confidence from my friend Ashley, who has used those. Ashley from Joyful Noise Learning, and she has videos on those. And I definitely would like to use some of her other resources in the future when we're ready for those resources. And from what I've heard, her math curriculum series is going to continue up until 6th grade math. So that's another one that I think you should watch. There's some really good stuff in here. And the last curriculum creator that I want to feature as a favorite today is myself and my family creating curriculum for our little business, Where'd You Learn That Homeschool. And yes, I am exactly the type of person who would choose myself as a favorite. You just gotta be honest. If you've watched my recent videos, you have heard about our newest release, Aventuras del Abecedario, or Alphabet Adventure. And I've done Purely Preschool, a lot of videos on Purely Preschool, so we have preschool related resources. What's unique about our resources is, one, I make them very, very easy to use because I do not like to do a lot of prep work for my lessons. So I make them as easy to use as possible and using very minimal supplies because I am a minimalist and I don't tend to have a lot of random household items. All those, common household items that you'll just have. I generally don't have them for activities. So I make it like, my activities are based on what are the things I would actually have around my house. Then it's probably safe to say that normal people would have those items around their house. So I make it very, very easy to use. The insides of our materials are mainly black and white. There are so many very colorful watercolor resources out there that use up a lot of ink, but I know for many people, the ink is just not within the budget. So I purposely, and my family purposely designs these resources to be beautiful in black and white. You can still have style, you can still have interest, you can still have cool illustrations without necessarily spending a fortune on colored ink. We also make resources that I would say don't exist elsewhere. We make resources for older kids. My personal favorite that I would want to highlight from our website is the history of the Bible. And this is a unit study telling the whole story of where we got the English Bible of today, starting from back the oral stories of the Jewish people, the Hebrew people. So, and following the journey, the long and bumpy journey, the adventurous journey up until we now have such a wealth of Bibles available to us today. And I think that that is a really neglected topic within history. We study so many kinds of history. Why don't we study the history of the Bible? I have found that so many young adult Christians do not know really where the Bible came from. And there's a lot of misunderstandings about where the Bible came from, which then leads to misunderstandings of the Bible itself. So this was definitely a passion project. It was not like anyone was asking like, oh, I really want to do a history of the Bible unit. No, it was a passion project. We have honestly sold very, very few of them. And I know it's a very unusual topic, but it is one I'm passionate about. I would love to have more people have a chance to explore this story with their kids. When I was writing this unit, I was working from researching history of the Bible books that were like 400 pages long and incredibly dry. But then I wrote something that you could easily do with upper elementary and middle school students and made it able to be engaging and understandable for them. So that's probably my number one top recommendation as like the product in our shop that most people don't know about. We also are beginning to release state studies like you have never seen them before. We have a Texas state study available right now that does not focus on fun facts and little tidbits about the state, but on actually significant things to understand about Texas's contribution to being part of the USA. So it is a really different approach to state studies. You'll probably have to see it to understand it a little more, and I will do a state studies specific video when we have a few more released. Michigan is planned to be our next release. But yeah, I'm proud of what we're doing. I'm glad I get to create these products together with my family, and I did want you to know a little bit about them. So those are my top 5 curriculum creators to watch. You can follow my curriculum account on Instagram. You can subscribe to my newsletter. The Instagram would be @where'd-you-learn-that-homeschool. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave me some comments of kind of your favorite homeschool curriculum creators to follow and watch and see what new and awesome things they are creating. Bye!